Okay, I'm geeking out over this episode. Before I get into it, let's go over what happened. Sam leaps into a female bounty hunter. Her partner is also her fiance. They're after this other woman who at first seems to be just your average girl, but turns out to run some pretty lethal drug business. Ben and his partner successfully stop her. The writers seem to be addressing many of the issues I brought up in the previous episodes. They spent a lot less time in the mystery line, and by extension, they're letting the Leap timeline really develop and be satisfying. Let's get something straight. Quantum Leap, to me, was never about the high octane action thriller stuff. It was always about the human connection and relationships. It was about looking at events through the eyes of someone inside the action. Some of my most memorable episodes from the original series were when Sam leaps into a person who was facing a grave injustice. For example, when he leaps into a black man in a white only diner, or when he leaps into a white man in love with a black woman, or when he leaps into a soldier in the military suspected of being gay. These were awesome episodes. The writing was extremely smart, the thematic elements were on point. Just love them. I felt this episode is getting into that groove, while at the same time maintaining the mystery timeline without having to dwell on it needlessly. In this episode, we get to do two things in the Leap timeline. One, develop the character of the Leapee's boyfriend. We get to see how much he loves the woman Ben leapt into and the struggle he goes through to understand why she didn't agree to his marriage proposal. A bonus point is the boyfriend is not portrayed as some wimp who can't handle himself. He's a strong character all on his own. And the storyline helps Ben remember that Addison is the one whom he loves. I liked how they didn't spend many episodes teasing this revelation. However, what I'm geeking out over is the revelation that Magic was one of the men whom Sam leapt into in the episode titled The Leap Home. Damn, this was good. Damn good, man. Maybe this revelation is so appealing to me because I'm a big fan of the original show, but who cares? It definitely tugged on my heartstrings. I don't care if people complain about it. The show should be made for the fans, and this scene is definitely for the fans. This revelation does two things: establishes Magic's motivation and passion to keep the Quantum Leap project going. He wants to find Sam. This is awesome. By extension, it establishes an emotional reason for the other characters, Ian and Jen, to want to bring Ben home. They don't want him to be lost in time forever. Could this have been done in a more effective manner? I mean, probably. They could have done it in a confrontation with Janice, for example. We already established she's still plugged into Ziki. Maybe they could have gotten closer to kicking her out, but somehow she outsmarts them. And in the process of outsmarting them, she could have had a short video dialogue with them pointing out that Magic, out of all people, shouldn't stand in her way. This scene could be played in three layers. The first layer is to reveal Magic's relationship to Sam. The second layer is to play on the mystery of her involvement. And the third layer is to show she has access to classified material. Two of these three objectives were done through exposition in this episode, but having this sort of hacking competition scene between Ian and Janice, it could have added more showing and less telling. The final thing I'd like to cover is a feeling I have about the budget of this show. It feels like they are not running on a huge budget. I can see that in some of the special effects. For example, in one of the car scenes, Addison uses her device and we can see some projections. But then a few seconds later, we don't see the projections anymore. Why is that? I mean, they ought to be consistent about it. I'm started to think they just don't have the budget to complete some of these shots. Could this be one of the reasons Scott Bakula isn't back yet? They just can't afford him? I don't know. Maybe at the end of the day, this is for the best. The cheaper the show is, the less likely it will get cancelled. But I don't know. I don't fully understand the network TV business model. Anywho, that's it for me. Over and out.